Peace to all of the kings and queens that's out there. This is your brother, M to the O, 13th letter to the cipher. And I tell you, I am strictly excited about today because today we have actually made it to the end of the month. And we've done a video every month, every day for this month. And we've kept our promises to ourselves. We've kept those agendas that we wanted to keep. And we have continued to uplift everyone that has come in our presence. So I thank you all for doing a magnificent job. This is the last day. And trust me, you all will be seeing, okay? So thanks out to you all. Shouts out to you all. That is the shout out for this evening. That shout is out for you all. Okay? How's everybody doing? How is everybody doing? Did you make it? Did you make it? I know my guy Seti is online right now, popping his lick off right now, but it's all good. And I want to send a shout out to everybody that's out there, young Pharaoh, everybody that's doing and uplifting black people here all across the country. Sorry, got tongue twisted there for some reason, okay? But we are here, okay? And today with this series in regards to you and me and we as a whole being maladjusted through education and how it played its role in molding us to become the people that we are, that we see and witness today. That's what I'm talking about right there. That's what I'm talking about. Got to go back in the lab. After I drop this leg, back in the lab, back in the lab. And um, for the peanut gallery out there, I don't know what your issue is, but you need to stop it. In fact, I blocked you, okay? So it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous with the people that come online that send you messages and disrespect the channel. We don't want you here. We don't want you on this channel doing the bullshit that you're doing. This is a learning channel. And if you cannot sit back like the rest of the people and enjoy that which is being presented to the family, well, we will have to excuse you rudely. Okay? But wrapping this series up in regards to being maladjusted, because many people called me about doing another lick on maladjusted. So still haven't gotten around to Inhotep. But I've been busy. And that's what it is. That's what it is. But what else I wanted to say? What happened today? It really don't matter, does it? Because we're still in the same condition that we've been in since we've been here. Many people think that it has changed. In reality, it hasn't. It has just evolved to another form of that. Make sense? We are continuously being maladjusted because we are continuously going through the education system here in America, whether it be public or private. You don't find yourself in any discipline at all, and you wonder why you feel the way that you feel about yourself. Now, America knows that she can't properly educate the masses of Black people. That would absolutely destroy the system. This is why they highly charge you to for your miseducation, And now you're further being maladjusted and enslaved by the education system that you say is great. Am I making sense to you? When you allow another people to define you, define your education, define who you are by words and definition, you are letting them have the power or creation over your own mind. Did you get that? Did you get that? Having the power of creation over your own mind, having the ability or power to define you is what creates a reality for you, whether it be real or not. The power to define is the person who is doing the oppressing. Let's look at the definition of black and let's look at the definition of white. Uh, People define reality for you, and consequently, when we as a people give up our power to define for ourselves, then we give up that interest that define us as a people in who we are. And they kill me. They absolutely kill me with these books that they subscribe to the students with the curriculum that they have in the public school system. I mean, it is absolutely outrageous. The books have the audacity. The books have the audacity and are absolutely stunning, stunning, while working towards that bachelor's degree that I pursued at one point. That's how I found out that these books were really, really stunning. I was sitting in a psychology class and we were discussing what's normal and what's weird and what's good and what's bad and how they affect people and why do people conform. Why do people conform? People conform because they are confused about what's happening in the society. Did you get that? They stand by and watch or look up to other people to see what they're doing, and then they or we follow them. Check that, right? Conforming, as it may sound, you conform to that which you think is normal, even though it's not normal, but because you don't know what's happening and the reality that it is around you, you are looking up to the very same people who are creating that reality for you and is causing you all of your misery, making you disbelieve that which is right before your very eyes. You see, when a person wants to manipulate you, they must first confuse you, upset you, get you all cranked up. And then they say, I have a solution to solve all of your problems and the misery. When in the beginning, they are the very same ones who created all of the madness that you are currently going through. All of it. So when you have confusion, mixed with, I want to say, uprooted history, uprooted thinking, and the ability to solve your own problems and identify your own self-identity, consequently, you look up to the very same people who lied to you, who miseducated you, who caused you pain, locked you in chains, sick dogs on you, hung you on trees, and are now fueling their very prison systems across America. That's what's going on right now. But yet you are educated. These are the very same young black men and women in these prisons who are part of this world's educational system. And you are foolish enough to look to them for validation. And you're also foolish enough to think that they are going to give you a definition to get you out of your misery when that is not possible whatsoever. How can you expect that? And we rush to their schools. We rush to sit at their feet to learn. When all along, they've miseducated you, me, your parents, and everyone else that you know. I mean, it's absolutely insane and crazy. I mean, we rush to get where the greatest liars sit and reside. We rush to their presence, meaning their school, the higher liar. We want a degree, to be just like them and look at them. As I stated before, this is the same people who's going to actually destroy this world. And even in grammar school, when you in social studies class or history class, you write these papers and they make you quote these liars. You don't have enough references or you misquoted them. Like, really? But they all lying. But if you go and get out and maneuver around and mix in with our own people and ask them something in regards to that which you've just added, you are quickly to have a feeling that he or she may be telling you half truths or bullshit simply because they haven't been validated by the higher liars. I'm just saying. And they have it set up this way. And so when you accept that which they have defined you by, you conform and believe have been defined, actually becoming the definition of that which they define you as being. A prime example of that is when a white man calls a black man boy. He is not just only calling him a name, he is actually creating a boy. The power to define. Just word of advice, when you're there in school and you, whether it be public school, elementary school, even on a collegiate level, look at all of the liars' information. Look at all of the liars' information that store in your head on a consistent and daily basis. And then on top of that, you actually memorize that which the higher liar has taught you. And you wonder why you're in this condition. You wonder why you're in this rut and you can't get out. You don't understand why you kill one another. You don't understand you. You don't understand you. You must be able to step away and build another whole foundation of education. If you don't step aside and get out of that box, you will be confined to that definition, and therefore there is no escape even in that education that you are pursuing. You think about that. Just from my standpoint, and like I said, I'm an educator. And just from my standpoint, and it doesn't make me right, but from that which I see every day in regards to educated people, the more you become educated, the more ignorant you become to what's really going on for the importance of your own people. Think about that. Let's look at Oprah. Let's look at Bill. Sadly, Bill is in there, but Bill fucked up. Bill couldn't stay out of their business. Kept wanting to buy TV stations, but he tried. And you see what happens when you try and you get involved in their world. Do you see what happens when you see it all the time? Look at Prince. Look at Michael Jackson. Look what happened to James Brown. Oh my God, look what happened to Whitney Houston. And so look what happened to her daughter. These are the very same people that you want to be like. Look what happened to Biggie. Look what happened to Pop. But it's all through education. Now, granted, you think, look at all of these people that you admire that are entertainers or athletes, right? It takes them forever to get to where they are. They just didn't get there overnight. LeBron James didn't happen to get where he is just playing basketball one full year. And no, it took time. He had to educate himself in that, just like it took time for them to educate you and manipulate your mind so that you could be maladjusted. And this is why when Black people get degrees, they have very little importance in the drive or the upliftment of Black people because they have been conformed. They have been conformed to see a reality that, in fact, they've made it to that reality in which your former slave master taught you, and while they were in their reality, unlike the reality that they're making you see, they too still, consequently, can't be or do what they want to do. Because they have been confined to that definition or definement which has been attributed to them regardless to how much money they make. As I told you yesterday, white people showed you that your money, being a Black person, don't matter. In fact, they will rob you quicker than anything. Just ask Kanye West with his dumb ass. I don't feel sorry for him. He didn't come back and do shit for us. Nothing. Nothing. And I forgot the other brother name. Damn, what's his name? It's not that I forgot it. It's on the tip of my tongue, and I can't even think of his name, but the other brother's from Chicago. Chance the rapper. And what did he do? He spent $1 million for the kids out of his money for the kids. How many of you all that are entertainers and athletes, or people that you know that are entertainers and athletes, has actually did what Chance the Rapper did? I'm just saying. I don't know if the brother has a degree or not, but I do know that those with degrees have very little interest for their own people because they are confused and tied up in the higher liars world. Not your world, but the higher liars world. And when you get in the higher liars world, I tell you, you may have a ball, but you will drown. You will drown if you're not careful. And trust me, they have plenty of secrets on you. This is another reason why you conform. In fact, If you want to make a black person a fool and you really want to see how silly he is, I tell you what, give him some education. That's right. Give him some education. If you want to see a black man act a fool and ignorant and just be outside of himself, you should just actually educate him. You have black people now who have no. Years ago, black people had businesses. They had bus lines, they had cab companies, they had stores. We even had a bank. And guess what? They didn't have any college degrees. And we got college degrees today, but we have very, very little businesses. But we say we smart. We say that we're educated. Now, if that's not mind manipulation, I don't know what is. The more degrees you get, the less economic control you will have over yourself. I'm going to repeat that again. The more degrees you have, the less economic control you will have over yourself. If you take an economic course, you won't find yourself in the books or in the budget. And after spending years of studying, you are only prepared to do what? You are only prepared to do what? Work for somebody else. Work for somebody else, not yourselves, but for somebody else. And 90% of the world that's dominated by these very same people who got their foot on your neck, they're out of control too. And that's why they are creating all of these Frankensteins across America. That's right, Frankensteins. Believe it or not, the process of becoming educated is the process of becoming dumb. Not intelligent, but dumb. When you're educated, you're out of your mind, you're out of your values, you're out of your morals, you're out of your own beliefs. And what does that mean? If you're out of your mind, if you're out of your morals, if you're out of your values, if you don't see yourself in anything that you're being educated by, what sense of superiority will you have about yourself? None. Do you understand that? Which leaves you what? Maladjusted. Maladjusted. You have why is it that you have people who why do you have people who how can I put this? Education will make you dumb. Let's put it that way. Education will make you dumb, and economics. Education will make you dumb, and economics will keep you poor. How long have we been dealing with economics? And what you're not seeing is that it is designed to keep you poor. Just like religion is designed to send you to hell. The criminal justice must function off of injustice in order to survive. But they tell you that there's justice, even though we know that there's not. And black people better know it's not, okay? Because if you don't know it's not, I guess you're like that sheriff guy that was in Milwaukee. What was his name? Sheriff Clark, okay? Did you all see that episode on CNN when Don Lemon just... Don Lemon ate him up, and he made himself really look bad. Why? Because he too is maladjusted. Anytime you are a police officer and you are the county sheriff, police officer and you are a black county sheriff and you get on live TV and say that police officers are not killing black people for the fun of it, and that every case of homicide that existed that was due to an officer shooting a black man was justified, and you don't see anything wrong with that, and you are a black man, you're not maladjusted, you fucked up. I'm just saying. And that's what education does. Look at the black people that's educated, the bourgeois or the bougies, right? Look how they look upon you, that they feel that is inferior to you, even though they just like you. And what caused them to be that way? Education. Being educated at the feet of the higher liars. Because when you go to their camps of institution, that's all you learn is lies. They make themselves look all good and make you look all bad. And that's throughout the history. That's not words that the 13th letter is just speaking. History can stick for that which I enunciate out of my mouth. I don't have to rely on white people and the history of what they did do or what they didn't do. And for you silly black people who think that integration is the answer, or that they do like you, as a whole, they don't. You may have some individuals that may do, but as a whole, they don't. I guarantee you, if you take a survey of all of the white people in this country and you ask them, do they like black people? Okay. Okay. Now, if you want to do that, we can do that. And in the process of being educated, in the process of the black man being educated by the higher liar, he wants no businesses for himself. He wants no businesses for himself. Out of his mind. Won't even do something for or leave his children. Now, if you are a big wig or a regional manager or some high-tech computer IT person or engineer, there's a great chance that you may be able to leave your child something. And like I said, they can't afford to educate the masses of black people. So it becomes an individual thing versus a whole. You know, it becomes an I versus a we. And that's another thing that has gotten black people out of their minds. Because if you study the culture of ourselves when we were there in a Cuba line, and you look at the art work that black people have made on that continent, you will see when it is signed in regards to who did the painting or the drawing, you actually will not see that person's name. You will see that community name. You will see that tribe's name. You won't see an individual's name, because our culture wasn't about individualism. Our culture was about a wholeness, a unit of oneness that was matriarch, not patriarch, but matriarch. Out of our minds. Out of our minds. And it's sad that we, as a people, we love the things that destroy us. But for the things that advance us, we have little interest in that. Prime example. Have you ever seen the guy who smokes cigarette and he needs a cigarette? He's like, man, if I don't get a cigarette, I'm going to die. Well, if I give you the cigarette, you're going to die. We are free to do the wrong thing, okay? We are not free to do the right thing. We are free to do the wrong thing. We are free to even give our own selves cancer. Now, don't you think that that should be against the law? But see, they fool you by making you feel that you have a freedom of choice when in actuality, they're actually imposing it upon you. That's right. And you think that you're doing this of your own will. That's just like TV ads and whatnot that you watch on TV. These people are fucking smart. These higher liars are really smart. And not only are these higher liars smart, or the person who is able to define your reality, they are fucking smart. I'm going to tell you why they're fucking smart. Because they robbed you of your own intellect. And when you rob someone of their intellect, you rob them of their common sense. Did you hear me? Did you hear me? I didn't stutter. I said that when you rob a person's intellect, you rob them of their common sense. And after you do that, the only thing they have is feelings or emotions, but they have no sense. So we have been actually basing our decisions off of what versus off of intellect. And you're like an empty shell. You're like an empty shell, and now you just dwell off of what some people may call spirituality. Because that's all that you have left. You've been stripped down to the bone. And it's even going into the marrow of the bone right now. But you are still dying to get to the higher liar. And they can't wait to give you that receipt upon your graduation. And once again, upon receiving that receipt after graduation, when you get your bill, you still say that it was a great learning experience. Once again, maladjusted. It's outrageous. Once you rob a person of their common sense, they have the power to manipulate your behavior so that your decisions, once again, is based on your feelings versus your own intellect. And they say that crime don't pay. Incredible. It's been a great 28 days, and I look forward to seeing you all Saturday, or maybe even tomorrow night, but Saturday for sure. And for all of you who have accomplished that which you willed during this month, I tip my hat to you, and I thank you all for your support and your encouragement. And by all means, if there's anything that I said that made sense to you or that you liked, by all means, I want you to press that subscribe button. Okay? And with that, you all, MO is going to get out your your WAY. And I want you to stay away from the popo. Don't drink and drive. Don't drink and drive. And if you do get caught drinking and driving and they ask you to take a breathalyzer or go to the hospital, by all means, don't refuse, because you will automatically get slapped with a whole year suspension versus 6 months if you drunk and just would have cooperated. I'm just saying. So have some respect for yourself. Keep that drive going, that uplifting drive that you've promised yourself. Keep it going past this month into next month, which is today, which will be today in a couple of minutes, and carry it on to that following month and that following month. And next thing you know, it's 6 months. The next thing you know, it's 9 months. The next thing you know, it's a whole 365. So I thank you all for watching, for your encouragement. And once again, I thank you for being the people who you are. Stay black, stay strong, and by all means, keep self-respect and peace among yourselves. Peace, you all.